Hey everyone, it's me, Thruster Plays here, and today's video is actually going to be a quick little comparison and an explanation of why I switched emulators. Now what you're seeing on screen before you right now is the current emulator I'm using, mGBA. And as you can see, the picture that you can see right here is absolutely beautiful. It looks gorgeous and it's just so vibrant, and just the colors are just so full of life. They're so bright and clear. Oh, this tree is doing a little bit of a weird thing there. And it looks so amazing. Okay, and we're just gonna go through the intro of Pokemon Emerald on MG makes it one word. We're gonna go through the intro for Pokemon Emerald on mGBA, and that's what everything looks like over here on mGBA. It has a very high quality, much higher quality than what I have seen before. Now, give me one moment and we'll switch over to the previous emulator I've been using, No GBA. Alright, now as you can see here before you, the colors aren't as bright and vibrant. They're darker, a lot darker than over on mGBA. And the quality, just at least to me, it's a lot less bright. It's a lot, as I said before, it's a lot darker. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of quality here. However, I just think that it's way too dark. I don't think that this is the true to life image, or this is what Pokemon Emerald truly looks like. So that's one of the reasons why I switched over to mGBA from Pokemon Emerald. So even there, you couldn't see your Quase's green body. You could only see black. The blues here around the Pokemon logo aren't as bright and vibrant as over there. Now we're going to switch back over to mGBA for a moment for the rest of this, just to finish everything off. Alright. So now we're right back here to mGBA. Oh, hey, we're right here in the middle of the magma hideout currently. Sorry, unfortunately, today's video is not going to be about Pokemon Emerald. It's not, or playing Pokemon Emerald. It's going to be talking about my experiences with No GBA, how that all went, and why I switched over. As I showed you before, I just think that the quality of mGBA with all the colors is more accurate than it is with No GBA. And so I prefer mGBA now because of that. I think it looks a lot better, a lot brighter, a lot more vivid. Now another reason is, as you guys have no doubt seen many times before, when I went to play this game over on No GBA, in certain locations, a thick fog that could not be seen through would appear on screen. As a result of that, well, it just made it impossible to play the game at some points. Or at least, it made it impossible to do it properly. A good example of this is back when I went and challenged the Lava Ridge Gym Leader. Okay, that sucked, because I was unable to see the floor and where I was going because of the fog issue I'd been having. Now, that wasn't the only place that this kind of a thing occurred. It also occurred in the, I believe it was the Rusturf Tunnel, and at the top of Mount Pyra, and it also occurs at several other locations throughout the rest of the game. Chief among them is when you dive underwater. You would be unable to actually see the surface, or the bottom of the ocean where you're diving at. Now, we haven't done that yet. We don't even have the ability to do that yet. So how do I know this? Well, found out from people who were also having the exact same issue that I was having. And they said that it made it impossible to play the game, which is completely understandable why they would say that. And I completely agree with them that that would make the game unplayable at that point. So I tried to do all the solutions that I could possibly find. Disabling background layers, using other programs to change stuff around. Nothing worked. I couldn't get it to work. So in the end, I just switched emulators. Now, how I managed to get my game save from No GBA to mGBA, well, it is quite simple. What I did was I went to No GBA's files. I went to the battery file that is included in that folder. I copied the file that was in there, which was a Pokemon Emerald Z file for me. Copied it, and I moved a copy over to my external hard drive, just as a backup in case something happened to the file on my main hard drive. Next, what I did was I created a folder that I then put the Pokemon Emerald Z ROM hack in, the actual files for the ROM hack that you open up at the very beginning when you open up a new ROM, or when you open up the ROM and you go to play a game. And then I pasted those save files into there. Now, the reason you have to do this is because if you do not do this, mGBA will be unable to find that save file. And the reason for this is because mGBA stores the save file with the Pokemon Emerald ROM. So that's how that works. And that's how I managed to import my save from No GBA to mGBA. And as you saw when I went to the top of Mount Pyre recently, before this location, I haven't had a problem since. I haven't had any kinds of issues with being able to see where I was going or anything like that. So as a result of that, I will be sticking with mGBA now. Because the quality on this is just so much higher. And on top of that, I have other features that are available to me. I have so many other features that are available to me, okay? Now, if you want to see what those features are, well, give me just a moment, I will show you. So, here's all the options that you can actually, that are actually available to you. Let's start with the emulation tab. Here you can reset, which will reset the whole emulator. You can do shutdown, which if you were using an actual Game Boy Advance, it would shut down the entire emulator. And it would send you back to the emulator loading screen. You can yank the game pack. I would never do that, because it's just me personally. I would never do that with one of my actual cartridges. I would never do it with a virtual one. Though I'm sure that for some games, I would actually somehow give you an advantage. You can also pause the emulator. You can go to the next frame by hitting Control-N, which you can go step by step into the game and get a frame-by-frame look at the entire game. You can also do fast forward, which if you aren't paused, Control-P pauses. It'll fast forward. And actually, once you hit Shift-Tab, you don't have to hold it down for it to keep doing that. You can also do Tab to fast forward manually if you don't want to do Shift-Tab. Next, you can also apparently do Rewind, as you can see here, though I haven't gotten it to work yet. Same with Step Backwards. You can also mess with the brightness and all that, though admittedly, I haven't gotten it to work yet for myself. Now that's the emulation tab. Now if we move over here to the file tab, you have load ROM and archive, add folder to library, load temporary save, load a patch, boot BIOS, replace ROM info. You can also check out your recent ROMs that you've used. Make portable. I have no idea what that does. You can also do save states really easily in this game, or in this emulator, which is very useful. You can also import Game Shark saves and export them as well. You do a new multiplayer window as well. Woohoo! So I guess that means that you'd actually be able to potentially do co-op this way. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Now if you come over here to the audio and video tab, you can mess with the frame size. You can go 6 times, which is normal, I guess. You can go, or not normal, you can go full screen, which is what we're now in. And then I believe that the keys were Alt Return. We don't have Alt Return. Whoops. Alt Enter for us on Windows. So I'm now unable to show any more of the options in here. But in audio video, I'll just read off everything. Frame size, lock, aspect ratio, force integer scaling, bilinear filtering, frame skips, muting, which was very useful because you could not do that in No GBA, and the game got quite loud at some points. FPS targets, which you can use to mess around with the FPS. You can take a screenshot, record output, record a GIF, record a video log, stop a video log. You can mess around with the video layers. So we got rid of ourselves. You can mess around with that. You can just take out everything, essentially. and that's what that does. And now we slowly build everything back up. And that's how that all worked. That's how that works. Next up, you also have your audio channels, which you can mess around with, in your tools. In your tools, you have video view logs, game overrides, game pack sensors, cheats, where you can add in cheats, settings, which is where you can also find the shaders tab to mess around with saturation, brightness level, all that stuff. You can open up a debugger console, start a GDB server, view the palette, view sprites, view tiles, view memory, search memory, and view the I/O registers. And that's essentially everything that you can do in mGBA. It seems to me to be a much more versatile thing, or much more versatile than anything I've used before. It's a hell of a lot more versatile than No GBA, 100%. But yeah, that is going to be it for me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I just wanted to make this quick little video talking about why I switched No GBA to mGBA and just how exactly I actually managed to switch my save files over from No GBA to mGBA. Mainly because when I tried to do it myself and I searched up everywhere to try and find information on how to do it, I couldn't find anything on this at all. It took me a very long time to figure it out. I think well, not a very long time. It took me like 24 to 48 hours to figure it out. But that's a long time to try and figure out a single problem for me, in my opinion. So I managed to figure it out thanks to some hints from people over at the mGBA forums who actually managed to give me the clues that I needed. Because while the answers they were giving me weren't exactly what I needed, they helped me to get right to where I am at now, which is good. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's episode, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Also, consider hitting the subscribe button to get notifications for our next upload video. Don't forget to also check out the links down below in the description for Twitch, Patreon, Streamlabs, Twitter, my other YouTube channel, all that other stuff. And also, don't forget to comment down below what you thought of today's episode, or video rather, it's not an episode. Don't forget to also share this video on social media. With all that being said, thank you guys once again for coming to today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.